How's it going, Ram fans? Welcome back to CTV Sports. I'm Mike Walsh, and we've got so much in store for you tonight.
So much would be an understatement, Mike. I'm Leah Cackowski, and here's what we got on tap for you tonight.
Other CSU athletic programs shined in light of football having the week off.
Not only that, but Rams softball is back on the diamond, and Neliah and I could not be more excited.
And both the NFL and NCAA had some moments worth of recapping, followed by our weekly pick'ems matchup.
All of that and more right here on CTV Sports, which starts right now. Conference season has arrived, and CSU soccer made history down in the Springs, coming home with 2 consecutive victories for the first time in conference play, defeating Air Force and Colorado College. Starting with the Falcons, CSU had an all-around offensive day, setting the tone early with 3 goals just in the first half. The Rams had a total of 21 shots and 8 on goal, compared to Air Force's 16 and 6. And while the score speaks for itself, the aggression was still there, as the Falcons received 2 yellow cards and Colorado State 1. Either way, there was help up and down the lineup to get the dub. These Rams all contributed, with Maggie Altman, Mia Casey, Kennedy Layton, Sophia Colombe all scoring. It was Layton's 74th overall start, tying the program for second. Moving on to Sunday, the Green and Gold took care of business once again against Colorado College, coming out on top 1-0. Katie Coffin was the 9th different Ram to score this season during the 63rd minute. However, CSU keeper Shayna Ross, who had started and played every minute since 2023, went down with an injury after a Colorado College player ran into her. She was replaced by Libby Brooker, as this was her first career game. Sending good thoughts to Ross, because as we look ahead, the season's end will come up before you know it. As today marks the start of October, that means the conference tournament is nearly a month away. The Rams will bring the Mountain West home for the first time this Thursday, hosting San Jose State. And it looks to be a promising win, because CSU is at the top of the podium, tied for first place with San Diego State in the Mountain West standings, while San Jose is much farther down the list, as they have yet to get a win thus far. However, after that, it's a tough road ahead, having to face teams like Utah State and Boise State. Well, soccer isn't the only team on campus getting into conference play. Mike, I'll serve it over to you.
Thanks, Leah. After the women's volleyball team took a trip west, I am happy to report that they did the exact same thing as soccer, winning both of their matchups, starting off with a big win against the defending champions of the Mountain West with Utah State on Thursday. Now, this Aggies roster was not the same one that took the trophy last year, bringing back only 1 starter. Luckily for the Rams, it is the opposite, as CSU has one of the more veteran rosters in the conference, and this proved to be crucial for the Rams, as they had a clean game with 12 less errors, and what's more, a defensive masterpiece with 19 blocks total. And the star of the night wasn't really a question, as Naima Weathers had another spectacular performance, totaling 19 kills and putting up 11 of the 19 blocks for the Rams. And right behind her with 7 blocks was setter Emery Herman. And she wasn't just blocking the ball, she also grabbed 46 total assists. And of course, everyone at CSU's favorite libero, Kate Yoshimoto, with a game high of 16 digs. And after that statement win over Utah State, the Rams had just 1 day off before matching up with the Wolfpack on Saturday. And this one was a bit less of a challenge for the Rams, as they took the win 3-1, shrugging off the only win for Nevada in the second set by dominating in the third and fourth by 6 and 9 points respectively. Again, the Rams saw less errors than their opponent and bested them on the defensive side in blocks. And in terms of the star player, there was again one that stuck out. This time, though, it was Neliah Jones with an outstanding 22 kills in just 4 sets, a number that is difficult to reach even if you played a full 5. And she wasn't alone, as continuing her weekend of dominance, Naima Weathers chipped in with 13 kills and 3 blocks, while Emery Herman was setting those girls up with 50 total assists. So overall, 2 solid wins for the Rams to start conference play 2-0, and now they will look to Thursday night as they welcome the Spartans of San Jose State into Moby. But that's enough from the volleyball team. Leah, what happened to tennis this weekend?
Well, Mike, Colorado State tennis competed at home for the only time this fall as they host the John Messick Invitational. The fall means roster limitations, as 4 of the 6 players were able to play unattached this weekend. Friday was a great start for the Green and Gold, winning 4 of 6 matches in both doubles and singles play, along with a doubles title. Saturday, CSU broke even, winning 6 of the 12 matches, and definitely had the largest crowd with so much support on the court. And finally, Sunday brought on the finals as many Rams were able to stand out. On the singles side, sophomore Logan Vokes won Flight F in straight sets, as well as Paisha Douglas and Victoria Jarjingskaya winning flight titles D and E. Colorado State also won 3 of its doubles matches on the day, and here's what head coach Miley Tran had to say. I think they've been learning in every single one of their matches. I think they've learned how much emotions play into our performance and our attitude. And I think they've been really receptive to coaching and advice from teammates. The first day was good, but it just got better and better, and they finished really strong on the last day. The Mountain West Fall individuals begin tomorrow in Las Vegas as freshman Maria Dobrevera and Logan Vokes are the only ones sporting CSU colors as they play due to those roster limitations. And speaking of the Mountain West, Mike, give us an update on what's been going on with all of these changes in the conference.
Well, Leah, due to the fact that the Pac-12 just seems to keep adding teams and lawsuits, we have held off on talking about the switch for the Rams, but now that Gonzaga was added just this morning, it's time to talk conference realignment. Going back a few years to an issue with media deals and TV money, the Pac-12 began to lose members, starting with teams like UCLA and USC announcing their move to the Big Ten in 2022, and then over the course of the last 2 years, the remaining 8 schools have left for other conferences such as the Big 12 and the ACC. But here at CSU, it is all about the future of the Pac-12, and it will feature some friendly faces. With the Rams' move just a few weeks ago, the Pac-2 that featured Washington State and Oregon State became the Pac-8, adding 5 schools with Fresno State, Boise State, San Diego State, Utah State, and as of this morning, Gonzaga, and of course, Colorado State. So Ram fans can expect more games against those 6 teams and hopefully some more wins. But with all those teams leaving the Mountain West, what happens to the remaining teams that stayed? Well, according to the Mountain West Commissioner and all the schools' respective social medias, they are committed to keeping the Mountain West alive. They are off to a good start, adding UTEP just this morning, but of course, there's always recruitment in college football, so both of these conferences could be much larger come next season and the 2026 season when the new deal becomes official. But again, we have quite a few years until this actually happens for CSU, and for the Mountain West, they got to wait till 2028 to add one more team to be an official conference. So Leah, what are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, I'm glad that they now have the correct amount to be a conference for the Pac-12.
That was a worry for a little bit.
That was a worry,
yep.
And especially, you know, the Mountain West is secure as well with the amount of teams that they have. I think Gonzaga is going to be great for men's basketball.
Yes, I think this is a power basketball conference
Yes.
now. I think it was like teetering on power. You add Gonzaga, a team that always makes it to the Sweet 16 pretty much every year.
A historic basketball program of the school.
Yeah, and it's both. It's men's and women's.
And women's,
and
all the way
obviously
around.
Colorado State has a good men's and women's team, so it's beneficial for everyone.
I agree.
But the Mountain West, I am a little sad. It feels like they're going a little lower than they were with these, obviously. These teams leaving like San Diego State, Boise State, us, they're just kind of
hopefully within the teams in the conference that they can be competitive at least within each other, and in the conference it can be good. But
my worry for CSU is just like we couldn't do much in this conference, so we'll see what we do next conference. We'll see. And we will get back to some football in a minute, but we are going to take a quick break, and when we get back, Neliah Rodriguez is here to talk some softball, so stick around.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Welcome back from the break, Ram fans. I'm Neliah Rodriguez, and in case you didn't know, Colorado State softball is not just a spring sport. Jen Fisher and her squad are back and ready for some non-conference play. So with that being said, let's get a preview of this team. Starting off with some notable veterans, senior and Fort Collins native Brooke Bolander. She has been with CSU softball team since her freshman year, and Bolander serves as a catcher and utility player. Last season, she played 43 games, starting in all but one. She has been an outstanding contribution to the team in all aspects, but when it comes to fielding, Bolander makes nearly no errors. Season after season, her fielding percentage sits in perfect standing, never dropping below .970. But Bolander doesn't just excel in fielding. She also maintains a strong and steady batting average each season. Despite the drop her sophomore year, she still has an average of .297 overall. Along with that, her on-base percentage stays looking nice for the Rams at .323. Another remarkable player is veteran and senior Morgan Crosby. This infielder, much like Bolander, boasts an impressive fielding percentage. In 2023, Crosby achieved a career high with 0 fielding errors, bringing her fielding average to an astonishing .942. And when it comes to offense, Crosby holds a batting average of .242 and an on-base percentage just under .330. Crosby is a strong and smart base runner, earning 12 stolen bases throughout her career. Although this team features some strong returners, it is also quite young and in the midst of a rebuild, featuring 13 freshmen on the roster this season. This mix of experience and new talent sets the stage for an exciting journey ahead. While taking all of this into account, the leader guiding this team through its rebuild is none other than head coach Jen Fisher. Jen Fisher has been a part of the Colorado State softball program since 2010. She has made an impressive impact, achieving 10 notable milestones. Her most recent accomplishment came in 2019. Fisher was named Mountain West Coach of the Year. And under Fisher's guidance, player Amber Nelson earned Mountain West Player of the Year, the first to do so since 2008. Additionally, in 2019, CSU made its NCAA tournament appearance for the first time since 2003. These achievements have showcased the program's growth and potential for future success. While all of this is great, it is worth noting that CSU struggled on the road last season, winning only 6 games and losing 10. However, the Rams do know how to defend their home field, finishing with 14 wins and losing just 6. With these strong returners and many new players, the 24-2025 CSU softball season will be exciting. Don't miss the action as Ram softball takes on Northern Colorado this Sunday, October 6th, here in Fort Collins at noon. Tune in each week here at CTV Sports to see how they play out. Now, that is all the news I have regarding Ram softball. Mike and Leah, back to football.
And thanks, Neliah. Before we get into some future games, let's take it back to this past weekend, starting with the Buffaloes again and CU.
Yeah, Mike, they've had a really great
they're
start.
4-1.
They're 4-1. They headed down to UCF this past weekend, and honestly, just a dominating
as an
performance.
underdog.
As an underdog, too. Going into that, they won 48-21.
Yeah.
Like,
this was dominance.
Off the bat, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, came back again in the third quarter with another 2 touchdowns. Like, at this point, I don't know what it's unbelievable.
Look, I like to hate on CU.
I do too.
But they are really playing well, and
Especially on
this
the road.
game was a big game for me.
Definitely.
It was a good 3-0 UCF team. They were underdogs. Now that we see what they can do, I mean, this is a pretty big win for them.
And on the road, so they've definitely proven themselves at home.
Going from Colorado all the way to Florida, I mean, that's pretty far.
That's a big difference. And, you know, we got to get ready for one of the most wild endings
This is crazy.
we've seen. I'm so excited to talk about this. Is, of course, against Georgia and Alabama.
Yep.
Let's just walk through this game. Mike, start us off.
Well, you know, I chose Alabama last week.
You did.
And I love my pick at this point. And that was one of the best games I have ever seen, just pure talent-wise. Those touchdowns in the that was insane. I just can't believe those 2 touchdowns were just back-to-back on plays like that.
And especially for what he right here,
That move
Ryan
right there was
Williams,
crazy.
is 17 years old.
And he is dominating these
Starting
guys.
for Alabama,
Yep.
and of course, again, Georgia was down 30-7 at halftime.
Right, so a crazy comeback. You're like, wow, Georgia, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
And then Alabama just throws the dagger right at him.
Alabama fans were getting a little bit nervous there. And
I agree.
And I mean, that interception at the end just really just dagger in the heart for all Georgia fans, but it was just a crazy end. And now their head coach, Georgia's head coach, 1-6 against Alabama.
I love it for Alabama.
I know.
And I love to see Kirby lose sometimes.
Sometime, exactly.
But moving on, we'll go to Oregon State, who also shared a bye with CSU this past week. So we're not going to go to the game this past weekend. We're going to go 2 weekends back to look at their game against Purdue, where they absolutely dominated Purdue.
Makes me a little nervous going forward.
It does.
Obviously, this now Oregon State's kind of on a little bit of a roll. They're 3-1 right now. And it wasn't even close for this game.
This is kind of like an introduction to the Pac-12.
It is.
And I feel like it's not going to put a good feeling in a lot of Ram fans' hearts just because Oregon State might demolish CSU.
And prior, you know, they've already beaten San Diego State.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, okay, is Oregon State going to be one of the top contenders going in, like you said, into the Pac-12? So it's very interesting going up against
I don't think CSU's a top contender when they join the Pac-12, so I think this might be kind of an out-of-reach game.
Yeah, and it's going to definitely be a test on the road. But finally, we got one more.
This was
and
awesome.
wow,
Friday night.
Virginia Tech put it all on the line in Miami, which resulted to one of the most controversial calls we've probably seen so far this season.
I mean, I was watching this live, and it was so weird how they made the call on the field. They said touchdown, and then it felt like there was no words, and they came back and they're like,
Miami's
no touchdown.
like, we have the ball, but
Right.
then Virginia Tech, they called it,
Yep.
touchdown, and then it took forever
Took
for
forever, and they were just like not a lot of talking.
Yeah.
I wasn't being convinced that it was whoever's ball, and then it kind of just got called not a touchdown, and that was it.
Because if it wasn't clear enough, and if they couldn't make it, the result would have standed on the field, and Virginia Tech would have come away
That's
with
what's
that
weird
game.
for me is you're usually
Yeah.
calling it when it's like super, like it's obvious
Yeah.
that it's a different way.
But that was so hard to tell, and the fact that they turned it over to
No.
me is very
There was
shocking.
for me there was not enough evidence to overturn that.
No.
So when they did that, I was super surprised.
and they replayed it so many times, and
It was a good game.
It was
a
a
really
good
good game
against a ranked Miami
a
team.
weird ending. A
Very
really
weird ending.
But while those results are set in stone, there are a ton of games we can still talk about and predict. So don't go anywhere just yet, Ram fans, because when we come back, Pick'ems returns for another week's slate of games.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
You know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back from the break, Ram fans, and of course, to Pick'ems. We've got quite the assortment of games to chat about tonight, but first, let's take a look at the current score across all of us anchors.
Look, I don't think you guys are going to like this that much, but I think this is purely a product of me being on every show and you guys not being on every show.
I did miss one week.
Yes.
I was traveling.
Me and you were right there.
We're right there.
But last week gave me those two. So
Yeah,
technically, without Leah here, last week it should be tied, and you're one away.
Yep.
So
I was here every week. I don't think Mike would be in the lead.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I don't want to make any claims like that. But
the fact of how close it is, I'm kind of proud of us.
Oh, yeah, no,
like
it's
usually
pretty-
it's like more lopsided between a couple of us here.
I don't want to take too much credit because I feel like it's just because I've been on too many times.
No,
but
that's fair. But we got it. We got to get into this week's
Yep.
game. So starting with one of the top NCAA matchups of the week. That is Missouri versus Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Mike, let's start off with you because you
Look,
are the reigning champ
look,
right now.
I like Missouri, and I think they had a horrible
Mm-hmm.
week last week. I think it was one of those games where you play down to your opponent. You play down to their level.
Right.
So I think this is a game for Missouri where they just have to come back and just have a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is their game, and I know it's at Texas A&M, but this is a game that Mizzou needs for the rest of the season.
So you're going Missouri?
I'm going Missouri.
I agree with you, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
I'm going with Texas.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
What
leaning-
about A&M?
Their defense.
Okay.
Okay.
It's going to be tough
Yep, it is for
For
sure.
Mizzou.
For sure.
to play against that
I
defense.
think the Mizzou defense is almost better. So I think it's a battle.
But what about their offense?
It's a battle, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's a battle of the defenses, and I really do like Mizzou's offense with Brady Cook
I
and
do
Luther
too.
Burden. To me, he was the best receiver. He hasn't played as well, but he's still
Right.
one of the best receivers in the country.
Well, and A&M is only a 1-point favorite and at
Yeah.
home, and so I'm going Mizzou on this one
Yeah.
as well, just because they've had
I
some
get the
great
Texas
showing.
one. They're
I
it's two
do.
good teams. I just think Mizzou has got the edge on this one.
Also,
Right.
Texas just has a ton of standout players. So
Yeah, and it's at home.
It'll be a
so
good game.
At home is
Yeah.
really going to help. Texas A&M is a crazy environment to play at,
Yep.
so I do get that one, but I'm going to go Mizzou here.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Game 2 for the night. We're going to Michigan visiting with Washington. What do you guys think about this one?
Well, I know your thoughts about Michigan, so I'll start us
Yeah,
off.
not great.
I mean, hey, this is the rematch between last year's national
It
championship.
is.
This is a really, really big deal. So this, again, it's at Washington. And I just think Michigan is going to take it. They had a really, really great win against USC. They were underdogs in that game, and that was at home. And I think they're going to be on a roll, and I think they can take it in Washington.
Look, I don't like this Michigan team. Like, usually I don't like them just because it's Michigan, but I don't like this team and how they're playing. I know they had a big win against USC, but this Washington pass offense, I think might just dismantle this
Yeah.
Michigan defense.
I think Mike's going to be wrong.
I think-
I'm fine with that.
Their
If I am,
offensive
I'm fine with
is
that.
balanced, and then they have also a very strong, tough defense.
I don't think the Michigan offense is balanced at all.
I mean,
They started a guy and they could not play him. They
Yeah.
forced him out, and now they're starting a guy that I think you could also force out versus a QB on Washington that was amazing at Texas A&M, and he's going to be amazing at Washington this year. He's already got 10-plus touchdowns.
I will say Michigan's passing production is 130th out of 134.
And they've
in
never
the
been good at passing,
nation.
so like that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but still.
That's why I'm going Washington.
Okay.
I think the passing
Home advantage.
offense is the advantage. Yeah.
Fair enough. All
Home
right.
advantage.
Sounds good.
And to finish out the NCAA, Syracuse comes to Mountain West territory and takes on the Rebels. What do you guys think about that?
This is a tough one.
It is hard for
I
me.
really do like Syracuse. They've played really well. Kyle McCord has looked amazing all year.
I know.
I think this UNLV team just has something to prove. That's
I
why.
do too.
That's why I chose them to win the Mountain West at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this team is different. This defense is crazy, which we already knew, but the offense is flowing well, even with the whole quarterback to running back situation.
And I think we talked about at the beginning of the year. I
Yep.
think all of us about being a top Mountain West contender. I gotta go UNLV on this one. I have to root for Mountain West. What do you think?
I'm agreeing with you, Leah.
Yeah, across the board here, I think we can root for UNLV.
It's a good offense and a good defense. I think this team has a chance. Obviously, I think they have a chance to win the Mountain West, but they have just looked the best out of all the teams.
Well, and Syracuse has kind of been in interception liability lately. They've had a lot of picks, and I think that especially with UNLV's defense, if they take advantage of that, I think UNLV would be the team to come out on top.
I think UNLV's taking this.
I agree, but I'm going to move things to the NFL for us because I really want to talk about these two powerhouses. And oh my gosh, that is, of course, the Bills and the Texans. Neliah, what are we thinking about this game?
I'm going with the Bills.
Okay,
The Texans are 3-1, but they've only played one really strong team, the Vikings.
Yeah.
And we've seen them get blown out of the water.
Yep.
True.
What are you guys thinking?
I have to agree. I got to go the Bills. I have to go the Bills on here. I mean, they did have a blowout loss to the Ravens last week.
Yep.
Which was pretty brutal, but again, I don't know. They're 1.5 point favorites, and they're away, so I don't know. I just rooting for the Bills this year. I love Josh Allen.
This year, I've been going with the Bills.
Yeah,
I've been choosing
you
the
have.
Bills, and they've been winning me these games, but I just think that Monday night performance was just disastrous.
Yeah, it was really
I mean,
bad.
this Ravens team is good, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but they should not have been beat like that, the Bills. So I think the Texans take their nice comeback win they had this weekend, and they beat this Bills team. That Bills team looked bad.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is they have, obviously Texans, younger quarterback, second season coming in, but...
And they've had their bad moments.
Right.
I just think coming into this game, Houston's coming in on a better foot than Buffalo. Buffalo is coming in just off
a really bad loss and then having to play.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think they take it, but...
Fair enough.
Now, you guys know Broncos country and I
man.
We've been having a blast, we had some wins, had some losses. Had the big win last week for me over the Jets to, get me that +1 in pick'ems. So, obviously, I love that. But what do you guys think about this Broncos game?
For the first time this pick'em season, I am going with the Broncos. They have finally shown me some promise. Yes, while it was against, Jets,
Jets aren't great.
The Raiders culture and climate in Denver. You cannot root for the Raiders if you are from Denver, Colorado.
So it's the fans.
It is the fans for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I cannot ever once pick the Raiders versus the Broncos. What do you think?
I'm glad to hear that, Leah. I'm going with the Broncos.
Good.
They have some
Okay.
momentum. They've won 2 games now. I'm excited.
I'm excited about it, but this is, as a lifelong Broncos fan, this is what you do. You get hyped up, and then you get a random game against the Raiders, and it just takes away all your hope.
I mean, they haven't won against them since 2019.
Right. I'm still going Broncos.
I am too.
This is a different Broncos team. It's a different coach. I think.
Well,
They're starting to get it down.
Yeah.
And every team has to fall eventually, and I just think, the streak will end, and I just have to go with the Broncos
And the
on
Raiders
this one.
are so dysfunctional. Devontae Adams just requested a trade today.
Literally today. Yep.
They have a lot going on. We're gonna go Broncos.
And for the last game of the night, let's talk about the unstoppable Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, man.
That's a word you could use for them. I don't know. It just seems to me when I'm watching their games, I'm always complaining about the refs.
Yep.
And I'm not doing that in any other games because it seems so obvious
that
the refs are calling things for the Chiefs. That's why I'm going to go with them because I think that just they can't lose. I don't think the NFL wants them to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear your thoughts first before I be devil's advocate here.
Yep.
I'm going for the Chiefs.
Okay.
I mean, Travis Kelce, Mahomes. It's a dynamic duo.
Yeah, it is.
Kelsey's kind of coming
Kelsey's
back.
not been great.
He hasn't,
but he's been picking it up.
Better. He had a first rough,
And losing Rashee Rice is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
I know we'll talk about that play later, but that was terrible for their team. One of the leading receivers in the NFL, just terrible loss for them.
And I think that the Chiefs will be able to identify the Saints' weakness.
Okay.
So it'll be a good game for sure.
I think they definitely have the experience in coaching over the Saints.
It's at Arrowhead. I'm just going to throw it out there and go for the Saints. They killed the Cowboys and the Panthers. Are they great teams? Not really, but I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. So let's see what happens.
We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
But now, Ram fans, we are going to take a quick break, but do not go anywhere just yet because when we come back, our favorite sports memes of the week. You don't want to miss it.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Welcome back from the break. Here at CTV, there are plenty of hard days to discuss CSU athletics, or the Broncos, or the Rockies. You get the idea. We're always making fun of someone. So every once in a while, it's refreshing to sit back and laugh at truly how much goes wrong in the world of sports, and more importantly, how creative the internet gets when responding to it. From the last few days, I definitely had my favorites, so let's
I can't wait to see.
go ahead and take a look at my first meme of the day. This was from the Broncos game, and this is just a crazy realization to me from Rodgers. It does really look like he's realizing he's a New York Jets quarterback, because I just don't think you saw this in Green Bay.
No.
He gets to New York, and he sees a team like the Denver Broncos that he loses to with a rookie QB throwing for 60 yards.
Yep.
That is the epitome of how you feel about that. So it was hilarious when I saw that, and I am so glad it happened. But going to my second meme of the week.
Start off strong. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I like this one. I don't think people know who Jaden Daniels is. So I saw this, and it really made me happy because the Washington football team deserves this. They deserve something to take them out of this rut they've been in, and Jaden Daniels is that guy. And that meme was just the epitome of what it is. And he's just playing football.
And he's just here.
But all these fans are like, you are my savior. So I absolutely love this meme. It was hilarious. But going to my third meme, which, could arguably be my funniest one.
Oh, wow.
But also the most relatable.
Okay,
because this was me last night watching these two games on YouTube TV with a split screen, and I was just never looking at the Dolphins and Titans game. It was just the epitome of bad football.
Terrible football.
The quarterbacks in the Dolphins are just horrible.
I saw the highlights and I couldn't watch.
And then watching the Lions-Seahawks game, that was an amazing game. I love that game. So those are my three memes. Let's go to you, Neliah.
Okay, for my first meme, I love this one. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Just a little replay. That game against the Chargers, he tackles his own team.
This was an
interception, and this is what happens.
One of the greatest movies ever, too.
Yep. But it's literally what happened. He went down and he tackled the player. He tackled his own player.
It's crazy.
So.
For my second one, I like this one. I mean, it's a little harsh, but the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are 0-4.
They're not having
the only thing that they're winning is the coin toss.
That's true.
Are they even? Do we know?
We don't.
Are they even winning that? I mean, we really don't know.
To be determined. We don't know. Yeah. And I think my last one, it's a little crazy, but Travis Hunter. He always has a ton of celebrations, different celebrations, but this one is by far, I think, the craziest.
This might have been the most posted one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it had the relation to the streamers, so it's going viral everywhere.
Guys, I love all of your memes, and for
yours are funny. Are you telling us?
If you don't know, I'm quite the New York fan, and I swear I can't keep laughing at the pain happening over there in, the great Apple City.
You can.
Obviously, I thought this was really funny because I just think Daniel Jones is just a huge fan of Dak Prescott at this day, and I just thought that was really funny having that because, they have not.
He owns him.
He owns him.
At this point, Dak owns him.
The Cowboys organization in general, but Dak specifically, so that one just absolutely killed me. And going back to the Chiefs, this one also
I like this one.
This one's great. As a big Swiftie, I thought that this was really
hilarious.
good. Just because again they lost two of their best players, and it's like, all right, you gotta call in team money to save you for the relief.
She's waiting up there. She's ready at all times.
She's ready to get called in. Hey, she is 5'10".
Yep.
Probably athletic.
I see her running at the shows.
She has stamina. She has stamina. 3-hour shows.
Obviously, right.
She definitely could probably get put into a football game with some capacity. And obviously, this last one is a little bittersweet for me as a baseball fan, and for some Oakland things coming to an end. It's just classic. You've been in a coma since 2015, and no teams in Oakland.
They're all gone. They are all gone.
The Athletics just had their last game over there in the Coliseum, and that's it. There's nothing left more in Oakland.
It's a sad time in Oakland. I mean, they sold out the stadium. I saw them pouring dirt into cups to take home. They're going to ride on that dirt from the old Oakland.
They were ripping out seats,
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it for that aspect of it, but just taking a team out of a city, that's just got to hurt.
That's
as someone
everything, too. It just has been bleeding for the last 10 years of people coming in and out. So, that one just kind of really sealed it for me. I'm like, that would really
Those were
not be
pretty
great.
good.
Yeah, good memes, guys.
I think we did
like it.
really well.
But we know there are so many more funny moments to talk about all over the internet. But that is all the sporting news we have for you tonight. Make sure to tune in on Thursday for our weekly newscast. Have a great night, and we'll see you then.